Networking, prepared for and presented at the 2019 Square One Entrepreneurship Training Program. Square One is a program of the Center for Emerging Technologies. CET is an affiliate of the Cortex Innovation Community. Square One is funded in part by the Missouri Technology Corporation.
I like to start off everything that I do about networking because the value that you bring to networking starts with who? Not me, not that person you meet, not that place you're at. It starts with you. And you talked a little bit in your last presentation about pitching. And the bottom line that happens when it comes to pitching, it's about you. People will remember you based on how you show up. So if you show up at a networking event and you're dry, dead, do you think they're going to want to have a conversation with you? Would you want to have a conversation with you? Seriously. What I want you all to do is, my first question is this. How many weeks have you all been together here? 6? With show of hands, how many of you think that you know the person that you're sitting next to? All right, raise them high if you feel like you know the person that you're sitting next to. Good. Good. Now I'm going to put you to the test. Going to put you to the test. What I want you to do is I want everybody to pair up with someone. Really quick, 10 seconds. Come on. I want you to stand up and do it. I should have been specific. It doesn't matter if you're sitting next to them, but I want you to pair up with somebody. Everyone pair up with someone. Okay? Does everybody have someone? You got somebody?
We could do 3.
Josh.
We could do 3.
That's entrepreneurial thinking right there.
Good. 3's good. 3's good. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take 30 seconds each and introduce yourself to that person. Go.
Develop a system to identify patients who won't respond to medication. I know what you do, I know what you do.
And I have 4 sons.
Oh, nice. How old are they?
16, 13, and 10.
5 years.
That's your 30 seconds.
Hey, I know our generation.
I do. Oh, congratulations.
What's the big day? So you just got pictures along with it.
Did you get to introduce yourself? Did you get to introduce yourself? Everybody met. Have you guys met each other? Did you guys get to meet? Okay, did you get to meet each other though?
From India. Yeah. Well, I've been here for about 15 years in the U.S. 11 years in India.
Now everybody, I want you to have a seat. Everybody have a seat.
Living the dream.
Your 30 seconds is up. I would like to have 5 volunteers, 1 from a different group. 5. Okay, 1. Come up here with me. 2. Come on, 3 more. Come on, Mitch. Be my volunteer. Mitch is 1. Come on, Kayla. Come up here. Is that 5? Okay. Now everybody that's out here, I want you to pay attention to this. Wow, thank you. Here's what I want you to do. So starting with you, Kayla, who did you meet?
Josh.
Introduce us to Josh.
Okay. Josh is a physical therapist. He has 4 kids. He has a practice in Kirkwood. He's a physical therapist. He is creating like a body tool to help with massages and to get a little bit better at, I guess, like some kind of machinery. He's very, very busy. Again, he said his kids range from 9 to 3. He's very tall. Other than that, he's currently looking for an admin out of report.
All in 30 seconds. Did you all feel like, do you feel like you know who, Josh. Do you feel like you know who Josh is and what Josh needs?
Yes.
Can you go out when you leave this room and tell somebody, I know a guy who's looking for somebody that does admin? That's the point of networking. When you come in here and you sit down, these individuals in this setting, everywhere you go, typically, should know about you, should know what you do. They should know about your passions. We know that he's a family man. He has kids. We know that he has a practice in Kirkwood. We know all this stuff. So I'm telling you, this here time that you spend and everywhere you go networking, you should leave an impression. Did he leave an impression? Good job, Josh. Give Josh a round of applause. Good job. Okay, Nick, who did you meet? Kurt. Where you at, Kurt? All right, Kurt. Tell us about Kurt.
So I think the term was, Kurt is a food scientist. He's been in the food industry for a long time. He's currently trying to produce a line of vegetarian-focused products. Some of his past includes tinkering with formulas for mass production of foods, and I think it goes all across from the retail and chain type stores through to private restaurants. I know he's a cook in the past. We had 3 people in the group, so we were kind of stuck.
But it didn't hurt you, did it? That you had 3 people. Because look at you still came out with something about Kurt, right? Do you guys feel like you know something about Kurt? Good. Whitney, who did you meet?
I met Tiffany.
Did you already know Tiffany?
Yes, my girl.
Thank you. Okay. Clean it up. We were going to switch you out if you knew her.
Not personally, no.
Okay.
Tiffany is a mother of 3 who works at Square. She just got back from a weekend where she got a promotion in San Francisco. She is a mother of 3, has been married for 7 years, came here because she wants to start a cannabis business that caters to women and women care. And we are going to get together and work on her pitch deck. So we had a good time.
Do you all feel like you know her?
Yes.
That is the point. Every single time that you sit down in any setting, you should leave an experience. Okay? Am I making my point?
Yes.
All right. Edwin, who did you meet?
I met Baron.
Baron?
Baron is 52, he's a school teacher, and he has this really cool product called the Pitch and Catch for sports, for baseball and soccer. Now, Sheraton, that really caught my attention. I made a connection because I love soccer. So,
See how easy it is to connect with people? They don't have to look like you. They don't have to come from your zip code. They don't even have to, any of that. So I want you to get all of that stuff out of your mind. Oftentimes, we gravitate to people that look like us. But I want you to squash that myth, because there are so many connecting ways that we can connect with people. It's not even funny. I want you to push past everything that you heard and make sure that you make a connection everywhere you go. Leave an experience. Amy, who did you meet? Wait a minute. Do you all feel like you know him now? Darren? Darren. Rename him. Darren. Do you all feel like you know him? How old is he? 52. Who else in here is in their 50s? That's something that you can connect on. Who else in here are sports people? Everybody should raise their hand. This is Cardinal City, baby. Those are things that you can connect with people on. All the things that we hear about networking and we make it so complicated, it's not. And I'm here to show you that it's a superpower and it's within you. But it's what you do to continue those relationships once you get them, that counts, okay? Amy, who'd you meet?
I met Joe. Joe
Where you at, Joe?
He's
I
hired.
see Joe back there, okay.
Joe is from Nashville. He graduated WashU in 1997. He's starting a business for him and his father. They're creating this sexy cooler, right? So the cooler is going to be made like out of like the thermal cups over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little bit about Joe.
Come on, Joe. Do you all feel like you know him? Who needs some coolers around here? Who uses coolers? Who knows what they are? Those are ways that you can connect with people. Okay, y'all, give them a round of applause. Thank you all. Every time that you go into a setting and you meet someone, when they leave and you leave, they should know who you are. Who you are, sometimes we think of our families. Those are things that are important to us. What I want you to think about is this. How many of you all have created a 30-second elevator pitch? Can I have some volunteers to come up here and share? Ooh. What happened to those hands? What happened? What happened? 30-second elevator. Come on, Kayla. Oh. Okay, so how about this? How about I give you some cheat codes? And then I would like some volunteers. Here's what I want you to think about every single time that you create your 30-second elevator pitch. The first thing is this. Always tell somebody your name. How many times have you been in a setting somewhere you've met someone, there's been a really great connection, and you say, I can't think of their name. So oftentimes, my name is Kesha. So I always say, think of Keish. Whatever it is that connects you to you, use that to help that person connect with you. If you have a name that may be a long name, may be hard to pronounce, always think of something catchy and have that. Think of Darren, but a B, Baron. Right? I want you to do those things because that will help people remember you every single time. You want to leave an experience. I always say when I go places and I speak or I meet people, I want to leave them with the Kesha experience. So leave them with the Kurt experience. They should know all about you, Kurt, when you leave, okay? What's your current status? What are your skills? And when I say current status, you're full-time, you're working somewhere. Maybe you are a student. Maybe you are an entrepreneur. Whatever that is, think of whatever you are right now and what you're doing and build it that way. So I want you to be thinking about it because I want you to take a few minutes and build. Okay? This is our building time. Think about your passions and tell your why. Talk about your passion. So you're passionate about that, right? So passionate that there were 3 of you in your group, Kurt, and we still heard about it. Right? Having 3 was not something that was against you guys. Right? So I want you to talk about your passion because sometimes what will happen is people won't always connect to what you do, but they will connect to your passions. They will connect to your why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do, Mitch? Tell me. Why? Tell me more.
I want to produce a valuable product for
Okay. Oftentimes I want you to think of an experience that you've been through. So sometimes people create modules or widgets or whatever because of something they've experienced. So whatever your why is behind what you're doing, talk about your passion and tell your why. People will connect to your passions every time, okay? Tell them why you're the person for what you're selling. Tell them why you. Because here's the thing, there's so many people that'll do what you do, but they won't do it like you. My grandma used to say that when I was younger, and I didn't get it then. I get it today. There are so many people that will do what you do, but they won't do it like you. It's impossible, right, Erica? They can't do it like you. So I want you to tell them why you, okay? And then ask for what it is that you want. What do you want? Do you want investors? Do you want to build your network? Do you want to get connected to another organization? Do you want to go out and speak? Do you want to tell your story? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Baron, what do you want to do?
I want to sell it.
You want to sell them. What do you want to do? You are Kayla, what do you want to do?
Make money.
So when you're connecting to people, your purpose, I want you to always tell them why you at the end of that, okay? So who wants to share with us? I gave you the cheat codes. All right, come on.
Let's go.
Come on up here.
Yeah,
Come on, give a round of applause. Thank you. Wrong door, this way up here. So use the cheat code, and I want you all to build this, but here's the thing that'll happen that will keep you stuck if you do this. So if you work on it tonight, and you tuck that piece of paper where you don't do anything else with it, it's going to keep you stuck. But the way that you master your 30-second elevator pitch is how? Over and over and over and over again. Keep pitching it everywhere you go. You can tell people. There was a program that I worked with, and there was a young man who was catching a bus to the program. I'm not kidding you. He said that every person that crossed his path while he sat at that bus stop, he did his 30-second elevator pitch to. And people wanted to know, can you write that down for me? Tell me how I can build me one of those. People will be intrigued when you come with this 30-second elevator pitch. And here's the thing, people aren't doing it. So when you show up at an interview, when you show up at a pitch, when you show up anywhere and you have your pitch, it's going to set you apart from all the other people that do what you do. Promise. All right, Baron.
Thank you.
Use your cheat codes.
I got you.
Okay.
Let me start by asking, how many people here have ever played any kind of sport? All right, okay. And how many people have children who play sports? Okay. Let me ask this question. Do your children sometimes, you have a hard time getting them to go outside to practice when you're not around? Sometimes they just want to sit inside and, play the video game, and you have to kind of grab them and kind of go outside and play sports?
Amen.
Yeah. My name is Barry Olden, and I've got a product called Toss and Catch. It's a baseball softball product that's designed for young athletes to teach them how to play catch by themselves. It's almost like training wheels for baseball.
Okay.
How I got started was, I've got 4 children. All of my kids have played sports at some point in time. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to get them to be motivated, play, get them good, the whole nine, but I can never get them to go outside to play by themselves. So I'm sitting at the house like entrepreneurs do, and I'm thinking, what can I do to motivate my children? My last child played softball. I said, what? If I can get something where she can just go out and throw it and not necessarily have to have bat and ball, that would be fantastic. So I did. I thought about it on a Saturday. On a Sunday, I went to Walmart, bought some pieces, put it all together just to see if it worked, and voila, it did. And so since then, I've gotten to the point now where I've done some questioning with different parents, different organizations, and what I have found is parents are interested, but they have certain buzzwords that are really key. Things like they want their child to be a leader, they want their child to be a contributor, they want their child to be a team, be instrumental in helping the team be better. These are some of the things that they were looking for. So I asked them about the product, and in many cases, what I found was it's something they're interested in because of these values. And so if it's something you think you like, let me know.
Okay, stay there. Give him a round of applause. Do you mind if I give you some feedback?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is the first thing you guys thought? Too long. Did it lose you? But in the beginning, were you in? So what I want you to do is practice, practice, practice. Because look, we heard your passion. We heard your why. Right? It's here, but I want you to give it, and I want you to time it, and I want you to practice it, and I want you to get it down because you have it. Right? Good, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else?
That goes in a 12-minute pitch.
Anyone else? Come on, Erica. Erica said, I want to go. Come on, Erica. Here's what I want you to do. Stick to the script. Stick to the script.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica King, and that's Erica with a C, not a K. So currently I work part-time because I gotta pay the bills, and I am in Square One Boot Camp trying to launch my new business, which is Shorty Makes Gourmet Cookies. For me, I love food, and I have probably like a lovely relationship with food that can sometimes teeter on unhealthy, but it's positive nonetheless. And unfortunately, not everyone gets the chance to have such a lovely relationship with food. So I came up with this idea based on some of my travel experiences to bring in flavors into a quick snack food, which is cookies, that you can experience something that you may not typically experience in your neighborhood, and you don't have to travel to get it. It's conveniently packaged for you. And my goal is and I'm trying to follow the script. The reason why I think I'd be awesome for this is because I love people, like I said, I love food, and I think I also love fun. And so I think all of those things can be encompassed in this snack food cookie. So my hope is that you can get a chance to try my cookie, which many of you have desired to. And the goal is to bring that in, and maybe you'll get to purchasing and trying it out and giving me your feedback.
Woohoo! Thank you. Feedback? You want feedback?
Sure.
Okay.
So what I liked was when you mentioned cookies from other areas, right?
Yeah.
So that's something intriguing that you can't just get from the store, and help somebody discover something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We heard her passions, right? Did you all hear her passions? We heard some passion in there. We heard your why. What was your why? Do you remember? Tell us what your why was again.
My why is that I really love food. I feel like it's something that's fun, and I love travel and experiencing different cultures. And I realize that sometimes people don't maybe have the money, or maybe even the opportunity to find that. And so I want to bring that conveniently to you.
Good. So the travel that people are not able to do, and the capacity that they may not have. It's a play on words, but you have a format, and so work on it, and keep going. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Come on. Come on. All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Letitia Wexton. I'm the founder and CEO of Hire Me. I'm a graphic designer and a YouTuber. I'm passionate about, by the way, I don't have arms. I was born with a disability, and I'm passionate about helping other people with disabilities by helping them gain the confidence that they need in order to address their physical limitations in the workplace. I developed Hire Me, which is an online platform that helps people with disabilities get jobs. And why me? I started my YouTube channel about 6 years ago, and that's where I was able to show people how capable I am with my disability by showing videos of my daily life and what I'm capable of. And if you are interested in learning more about Hire Me, come join me at joinhireme.com.
Thank you. Feedback? Any feedback? You guys want to give feedback? Anything? I know. Energy was good. That's one of the biggest things when you're talking to people, you're in front of people, is your energy. If you come up here and you are dry, people will not want to hear that. Yes. Yes.
Polished and confidence.
Yes. Plenty of confidence. People want to know that. Thank you.
And she looked like she was having fun.
She had fun. Yes. That's what it's all about. Make your pitch fun. Be confident about what you bring to the table. Again, there's going to be millions of people that do what you do, but they will not, I repeat, will not do it like you. They won't. Okay? Yes, Mitch.
I got maybe a weird question. All right, so I heard, or I read some articles about this and some books about it. So like the founder of Keurig doesn't drink coffee apparently. So if
Did you all hear that?
No.
The founder of Keurig does not drink coffee.
So the point of some of these books is that you don't have to like your you don't have to be a user of your products if it is valuable and it meets a need in the market. So if you're passionate about, I mean, I happen to like what I'm trying to produce, but if you're more focused on creating a business that's good, that you might not be passionate about the end product necessarily. What do you think about that as far as tying that into a pitch?
I was gonna say, but you are, I was just listening to what you said, is like, you may not be tied to the actual income, but then the passion is entrepreneurship, right? Because that's the goal.
That's a good point too. That's really a good point. And I was going to say this. You need to make sure that you find the passion in it. When you're pitching it, you want to make sure that you give people something to hang on to. If you're not passionate about it, people will be able to tell. How many investors do you think are investing in things that people aren't even passionate about? So you need to find the connection to yourself. Whether you drink coffee or not, find the connection and make sure that it's something that you can give and they can feel it. They can, when they come in contact with you when you're talking about it, you want them to be able to feel that. Okay? Any other questions? Yes?
I want to raise an offsetting factor without sounding like devil's advocate or anything.
I like devil's advocate.
If, from reading like the original version of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, the repetitive theme in there is act like you're interested in them. Ask them questions about what they do. Get them to talk about themselves. If you can get somebody to talk about himself for 10, 15 minutes, when he leaves that party, he'll be thinking, that guy's pretty good.
I agree.
Now, at what point do you make the transition from starting out by showing interest in them and what they do to the point where it's, okay, I think I've got a nibble.
Yeah,
Now it's
slide
time
in.
to start making my pitch.
I always say this, it is relational. So you want to make sure that it's back and forth. There's going to be some give and take. If you're eating up the whole time, you're not bringing a value because you're not even getting to know a person. So the bottom line is it's very relational. So give them time, and as soon as you can, get in there. But oftentimes you'll meet somebody for the first time and they say, what do you do? You can take that and you can talk about your passions and still get to what you do in the end. So again, it's all relational. So you want to make sure that there's give and take. But you do want to listen to them as well, because at the end of it, you want to walk away, now I'm meeting somebody that you want to build a relationship with. But it's, go ahead.
And I guess my comment is, if somebody asks, what do you do? I will give them one sentence, which is a well-designed sentence, and then I will say, and what do you do?
But again, if you go back to your passions, you will find out what they do when they talk about what they're passionate about every single time. Okay? Does that help? All right. So what I want you all to do is this. We're going to do some speed networking. Okay? Is that okay? All right, good. I want you to take what we talked about, talk about your passions, and I'm going to give you a few questions, and I'm going to time you. I don't want you to sit with somebody you already know, though. Is that okay? All right. There's about 5 to 6 people at each row, though, right? So we can do a group of 3, groups. You guys can get together, that's fine. And I have questions, and I'm going to time you. But what I want you to do at the end of these questions, I want you to be able to gather and think about networking on a high-speed kind of hybrid thing right now. So we're going to do questions, and the questions are going to be 2-minute questions, okay? So your first question is this. Can you guys see that? Can you see it? When was the last time that you amazed yourself? When was it? Okay, get with your group, and I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay? 2 minutes each, because I want you to take time. You guys can do those 3, yes. Get Kurt in there too.
Okay, so what's your name? Adash.
I'm Gabe.
Gabe, I'm Darren. Okay, so I'll ask you that. When was the last time, Adash, when was the last time you amazed yourself?
Good.
Okay, Gabe.
Pretty unremarkable, but
For me, it's really been this experience. Sometimes when I think about where I came from to where I am right now, sometimes I amaze myself. And I think just it's so easy for probably thousands, probably millions of people who have ideas every day like us, but they never get to the point where we are right now. So for me to take it from an idea and actually bring it to fruition, for me is amazing.
I'm just honest. I was amazed when I got accepted to the next because I was also amazed when I figured out a work so it stayed, so I practiced for many years till I got it right.
I got you. So for you, it was some 8th hole. You had 18th hole. You made a pretty good drive. Did better than what you thought. You did better than what you thought.
What was it? Oh, par. You got it. It was par 5. And how many you got? You got it? Par. Oh, I got it. I guess we were scrambling. Okay. But it was good. Okay. But the drive, that was the longest drive I've ever made on the fairway. All right. Okay. All right.
And so for you, Dash, it's the fact that you amazed you to the class, and then the fact that you've been able to accomplish what you have based on what you've learned in this class, and then you've been able to fit it into yours, because you are a doctor. Right, so you've been able to kind of fit this into your schedule. What can you say about your role in the middle of this?
Oh, that's the second one. That's fully
I got you. I got you. Just been able to take it from the idea from the thought in my head to bring it to fruition. Now I'm at the point now where I'm about to get it inspected and hopefully get it manufactured. So that whole process probably is taking me
30 seconds.
close to 2 years. That's a blessing. This is okay, so the product is a baseball softball product. I'm developing 2 others for volleyball and soccer. Now, the products within themselves aren't unique per se, but what's unique about my product is they're interchangeable. So you can do volleyball in the fall.
All right.
Then as soon as
Did you all find that people love to talk about themselves?
put soccer ball on there and use the same product.
Ian? Good. Did you find that people love to talk about themselves? How about this? How many of you said, I can't remember the last time I did something that amazed myself? Raise your hand. Hi. Okay. Right. Here's the point that I did with that. When you get ready to go and network, you need to have a game plan. You need to know what you're going to say. What are your goals for networking when you get there? How many people do you want to meet? Whatever your goal is, make a goal before you get to the event. How many employers do you want to connect with at a job fair? Right? I want you to think about building a game plan for networking. Because oftentimes we'll get into an event and we can plan on networking and we'll get in there and we haven't met anybody. Leave. And sometimes spend money to go to these events. Give away our business cards that we pay money for and have made 0 genuine, real connections. Networking events are mainly to meet people. But here's the catch. You can meet people all day long. Unless you're making meaningful connections, you're just talking. You'll go home with a tired mouth and no real connections. How many of you all are on LinkedIn? Ooh, that's wonderful. Okay, good. Okay. Show me your hands again for LinkedIn. That looks like everybody, but it's not. Okay, thank you again. Now, those people that are not on LinkedIn, raise your hand.
The vigor with which I put my hand up says so.
Do I want to mess with it? So my question to you all, how many of you all have a LinkedIn app? I have something really neat that I want to show you. Open up your app. And I want you to use this the next time you go to Venture Cafe. Who's been to Venture Cafe? Ooh, good job. So the next time you go to Venture Cafe, I want you to do this. So open up your app. Log on back in, figure it out. How many of you all are active on LinkedIn? Posting. Sharing. Liking.
I hired somebody to do that.
Good. Hire. Do it. And I'll tell you why. So in the month of September alone, 3 of my events that I was paid to go and speak at and train at came directly from LinkedIn. From a post that they saw me post, from a like that someone else liked, from a comment that someone else commented, and they sent me an inbox and said, I saw that you spoke at XYZ. What do you train on? I saw this. I saw that. I saw footage. I want you to know that people do connect on LinkedIn. People really want to know that you're a real person. That's the #1 reason that I say get on LinkedIn. If you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur, LinkedIn is a free resource. There's so many paid resources, but it's free that you can build your brand on. I've done it. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. So you see where it says search? Don't click it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. In the right-hand corner, there's 4 boxes. Click that, the QR code. Bam. So when you click that QR code, go where it says my code and click that. Do you see your code come up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to go to where it says scan. And I want you to scan Robert's QR code. You do yours. That's okay. Turn your camera on. There you go. Do Robert. Scan that. And what that does is now you automatically connect to that person. You don't have to type in their name. You don't have to figure out how to spell it. It automatically connects. And if you're already connected, it will show you that you are connected. But what it's going to do is it's going to bring up their profile. Did it work? Did it work? Did it work?
Yeah.
Did it work? So if you all are in your class here and you are not connected on LinkedIn, what are you all in here doing?
Listening.
Connect to everyone in here on LinkedIn. It helps you build up your profile.
We're being listeners and listening to more.
Did it work? Did it work? Raise a buzz. You know how to do it now, right? So what that does, you all, is this. You can instantly connect to people. So whether you have business cards or not, you can instantly connect. But here's the catch. Don't connect to people on LinkedIn if your profile is a hot mess. That's the caveat. So I want you to make sure that you're connecting, but I don't want you to connect if you don't have a professional picture and you have a selfie like this. And a professional picture does not have to cost you anything. You can get up against the wall and let somebody take that picture. But I want you to remember, again, people go to LinkedIn because they want to know that you're real. Okay? Does that make sense? Now I'm going to put my recruiter hat on right now. Yes, I am. I got to, Kurt. So I have about 20 years of recruitment experience. The number one place that recruiters go to search for people that are in their field that they're looking for is LinkedIn. So when I'm looking for a NetSuite developer. First place I went was LinkedIn, and I typed in the search bar, NetSuite developer. And what does LinkedIn do? Show me everyone that has NetSuite developer in their profile. So the other thing is this, make sure that your profile reflects your skills. Make sure that you're sharing articles and things that are in your industry. If you're in manufacturing, you should be talking about manufacturing. If you're in healthcare, you should be following BJC. You should be following Ascension Health. You should be following all those organizations that are in that space that you want to get in. Because what will happen is you'll see them post something. It'll tell you where they're hosting that event at. It'll tell you what they're doing within their organization. Maybe you don't want to work there. Or maybe you do want to work because you see that they can bring their dogs to work. Purina, follow them. They post stuff every other day or so. Organizations that are larger organizations sometimes will even post hiring fairs. BJC has a virtual hiring fair that they do on LinkedIn alone. So as a recruiter, again, the number one place that I will go to search for candidates is LinkedIn. So get on LinkedIn. And
Well, so a question for those who also don't have it.
yes.
So, what besides an SE profile, what's a negative attribute? Not enough posts, not enough likes?
No, posts and likes are not negative at all. But what that does is, so say if BJC posts something and you go on and you like it, and you make a comment, what's that going to do? It's going to send it to them that you did that. And 9 times out of 10, if it's somebody in recruitment that's posting that, and you have that title that we're looking for, that's an easy fix. Now they're going to connect to you. And it happens like this all day. Okay? I had another question.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I went to a networking event maybe a few months back, and I can't remember how to do it, but if you're at a networking event and you want to, I guess, search for like everybody that's around you, like that's another way to connect with people.
And that hasn't been working, so I don't know if they switched it to the QR code, and maybe they updated it on the app is what I'm thinking. Yes?
I have a question. I know friends that get recruited very often off LinkedIn. I'm not really one of those people. I'm just wondering, like, what is it in terms of a profile, though, that recruiters would look for? Or are there certain things that you should do? Because I know people who now pay people to, like, update their profile.
Yes, they do.
Like, they pay people for resumes, and that's just like...
So the biggest things that they want to see are your skills. Your profile should reflect your resume. And that's an easy fix. So you can actually copy and paste from your resume. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Recommendations are huge. If I see that an individual has recommendations, that shows me that they're in their field and they're rocking and rolling. Individuals can give you recommendations on your work, on presentations, on trainings you've done, working side by side with you. You can get all sorts of recommendations. I saw your hand.
I have my resume out there. I haven't really updated it for like about 4 years.
Okay, but you're going to update it, right?
Yeah. I'm still getting calls off of that. No, because I still have the right buzzwords.
Good. That's the key. It is. That's important, buzzwords. So when you're in your specific industry, networking is about buzzwords on LinkedIn. People can find you based on those buzzwords. If you're a developer, if you do SQL, whatever it is that you specialize in, you should say that. I always say this, have a catchy headline. Mine says, high energy speaker, training and development leader, talent acquisition leader. Think of those things that are going to be buzzwords that are going to catch the attention of an individual that's doing a search. Okay? What kind of questions do you guys have on that? Yes?
So what do you think, so everyone in here is trying to start a business, and a lot of us probably work part-time or full-time on different jobs too. So what do you think about trying to, have both of those things portrayed in your profile?
You want to make sure that so when you line up your profile, your current, you can put in there what you're doing along with that part-time position too. So I would say put in your entrepreneurial role, the thing that you're working on, your passion, that should be in there. And then that part-time position that you're working on too, that should also be in there. So reflect both of those. Yes, definitely.
You can create a business page.
You sure can.
But it has to be connected to you because everything is personal.
You absolutely can, and it's free. Sure can. What else, you guys? Those are good questions.
So then, should you also be, when you said that it should be current, like to your resume, should you then be deleting certain things, like maybe some old work experience that may not be helpful?
I always say make it relevant to what it is that you're wanting to do. So if you go all the way back 20 years and you put Wendy's when you worked at Wendy's, Wendy's wouldn't be relevant, right? So think about those skills and those things that will show. So if you want to do things in management and things like that, you want to pull from those pieces that have those things that you've done. Okay? Questions back there in the back? Yes, Mark. Mitch.
How many, are you experienced with LinkedIn Premium?
I am.
So if we were to get that, what do you recommend we use it for specifically? Or like, what do you recommend we on this?
So recruiters mainly pay for LinkedIn. If you're not really searching for somebody, you can do a lot of those things free.
Well, I got a free code for a year, so.
Oh, so then use that.
I'm saying, like, what should I be aware of? Because I've never used it.
So when you go on there, one of the things that having the premium will do is it will allow you to send messages to people that may not have connected with you. So instead of you having to be connected because you have that premium account, you can send them a direct message. Bless you. What else, you guys? Kayla, what do you have? I see you thinking.
For LinkedIn?
Yeah, anything, any questions?
I just signed up.
I'm glad you did. That's important. It is. It's
I was one
good.
of the three who didn't have it, so I was like, what? I get it. So I just downloaded the app.
Easy peasy.
Yeah,
And
I think
again,
everything on it, though.
and don't recreate the wheel. If you have a resume, copy and paste from your resume. Add in your skills from your resume. Put your skills on there in the highlight section. Make sure that you hone in on what your skills are because those are the things that will be used to search. Okay, good. Glad to hear that. That made me smile. What else, you guys? What else? Anything? Okay. So the biggest thing I want you to think about is this when you go out and meet somebody. When you follow up with them, what would you say is the ample amount of time to follow up? And don't tell them, Julian, you're in my last presentation. Good.
Let's say less than 24 hours.
I saw a hand back there. Okay. 48 hours is good. Anytime after 48 hours, people will forget you. If you want to make a connection with them within 48 hours, I want you to send them a message. Send them a LinkedIn message. Now here's the trick about LinkedIn. If you do it from your phone, you want to tweak the message because it will give you that generic. But in your message, you should say something like this, Robert. It was so great to meet you at Venture Cafe last night. I enjoyed the presentation. Didn't you enjoy that as well? I would love to have coffee. Simple. I would love to have lunch. I would love to learn more about what it is that you do. Right? When you request a meeting with them, then what you do is, then you begin to build a relationship. It takes time though. So I want you to be patient. Don't just go right, just like in any relationship, it takes time to build it up. So don't just go in all half crazy. What I don't want you to do is make it personal. When you first meet someone and you send them that message, make sure that it's professional. You shouldn't talk politics. You shouldn't talk what's going on in the news. You never know a person's perspective. And you never want to rub a person the wrong way. That's just a rule of thumb when it comes to professionalism. Okay? Now on LinkedIn, I want you to do this. When you connect to them on LinkedIn, go and see if they've made any posts. See how you can share things with them. In networking and building relationships, oftentimes people think about, okay, what can I get? But I want you to come from that perspective and think about what you can give. So we know that Josh needs an admin person, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? You know that. So when you meet Josh and he tells you that, when you find out that someone on LinkedIn posted that they're an admin person and this is what they're looking for, you can send him a message and say, I saw a person that has this experience you're looking for. That's going to raise his head, right? Now he will start to remember you. But then the relationship becomes give and take, and you're not just getting. You're giving too. Okay? Yes?
So if you get to a point where you have everybody's like free schedule type of thing, should you be the one that maybe suggests time first? So let them set time first.
I would always say come with the times that you know that are going to work with you. That'll keep the back and forth from going so many times. And I would say this, give them 2 times. I'm available Wednesday at 3 or Monday at 10, which is best for you. And if either one of those don't work, I would do it again. But what can happen sometimes is they'll give you a time that does work for you, or does work for them, I should say. But when you're clear about when you can meet her, cuts everything else out, right? And the back and forth. I already told you this. Keep it what? Professional. Keep it what? Professional. Promise me that you're going to do that. Will you? Raise of hands that you're going to keep it professional. Good. Good. The bottom line is this. Networking is a superpower. But the only way to tap into your power is to use it. It's to know the cheat codes that I gave you. Use your passion. Talk about your passion. Don't be afraid. Be confident in what you say and own it. And make sure that when you come to the table with what you have, you're confident. And remember what I told you. It doesn't matter how many people do what you do. What? They won't do it like you. Okay, you guys? What kind of questions do you have? That's the end of my presentation. What questions do you guys have?
What about ways to align with people? Like, I get a lot of reach outs, and I'm kind of getting to the point where, from a time standpoint, it's killing me because I'm like,
don't die though.
I'd love to meet everybody, but like, if somebody can't tell me what the purpose is, or if they start off with
that's it right there.
And they start off with the hey, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day. I'm like, I'm lost. I can't do that.
Ask what the purpose is. What is the objective of the contact? Because oftentimes if you have certain experience, people will send you questions. They may just want to pick your brain. But picking somebody's brain costs money, right?
And the time, I mean, if you think
the
about
time and how many people it is. Yes.
Hey, I met you for coffee for an hour. It's like, hey, I broke up my workflow. I drove to the coffee place we were going to meet at. Then we had coffee. Then I had to drive back. Then I had to get back into the group. But the emails all piled up. I mean, like, your people, my brain just cost me hundreds of dollars.
That's true. And so here's the thing I would say when it comes to meeting. Pick a day. So if you're available on a Wednesday afternoon, say maybe you have 2 hours. Within those 2 hours, I would say meet 4 people at the same spot and schedule those slots. Sometimes people do this. They're meeting people at all these different random places, and then you're riding all over the place. But if you know that you're going to be in the Central West End from 10 until 12, book some people from 10 until 12. I do it all the time. But I'll give people 30 minutes First 10 minutes, I want to know what the objective is. But before you even meet with them, you can ask. And then the other thing is this, on LinkedIn and social media and places like that, have your limit. So sometimes I may not be on LinkedIn all day, but it may look like I'm on there all day. But I have an automatic poster that's going to post for me. And then I'll go back in and look at those posts, and I may say something to a few people that have said something on the post.
You can do it every
Timer.
day. Can you do it every day?
You can do it every day. You can. But I say this, have a time limit. So sometimes I may say, in a week's time, I want to be on LinkedIn for 2 hours in a week. Not 2 hours a day. It may look like it sometimes though. Here's the other thing I want you all to do. Find me on LinkedIn. This is how my name is listed on there. Good. And connect. What's that smile for, Edwin? Oh, I thought you were saying you were connecting. Are you on LinkedIn?
I just downloaded my app.
Yay! Good. What other questions do you all have?
That works a lot of different ways. Like being on LinkedIn, somebody says, hey, let's get together. I'm like, that's the first thing I'm going to do is look them up.
Absolutely. And when you're at networking events, use the app that I showed you, the trick that I showed you with your QR code. Use it at LinkedIn, at Venture Cafe. Use it at Venture Cafe. I was at a digital conference in Ohio, Together Digital's Women in Digital, so SEO folks, and I knew all about SEO. I felt really good about it. But one of the things that they did is, it was probably 200 women in this space, and we got to connect because we had LinkedIn, and we used that, and we connected. And I'm telling you, it took minutes, probably 10 minutes to connect with 60 people. It was quick. So use it. Yes?
Is there a quantity versus quality problem? Like if you have so many connections, then, like I know some people have like 1,000 friends on Facebook, but
I don't think so. When it comes to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a little bit different from Facebook and places like that because it's professional. And you may not see pictures of babies and dogs and all that stuff, but you'll see organizations posting things that they have going on. You'll see community events and things like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with quantity on LinkedIn. What I will say is when you're responding and you're liking posts, make sure that you're saying something that's authentic. That's the one advice I would say. Make it authentic. Make sure that it's meaningful. Make sure that when you're connecting with people, you're congratulating them. So you can see when they have an anniversary. Congratulate them. We can see when you have an anniversary. Don't you want that congratulations?
Everybody likes to be recognized.
Yeah, we do. What other questions you guys have? Any other questions you guys have?
On LinkedIn, I was at a show one time, and I guess there's a feature on LinkedIn where you can figure out who else is on LinkedIn and has the app open that's near you.
Yep.
And they suggested we did that at the trade show, which was kind of neat.
And then everybody in your radius will come up. I'm not sure if they still do that because we tried it and tried it and tried it. And I was showing everybody the QR code that may be the new update with the LinkedIn because I have not been able to find people in that radius field anymore. Any other questions, you all?
I got I was glad to hear you say that there should be a set time in place. So before class, you can usually meet me here, as most of you know. And on Fridays in the afternoon, probably 3 out of 4 Fridays each month, there's a deli that I hang out at over in the St. Louis Hills. So I literally go in there for early lunch, and then people just roll through until people get
Smart. That's smart. And that's an easy way to connect with people in one spot. So if you're seriously wanting to connect, even Venture Cafe is a great place to do that at because not only is it free, but you're going to get a conglomerate of people that you can connect with in that same space, same time, every week. Okay? Yes?
On the topic, Venture Cafe, 15 times, and first time, second time, focus on veterans. No dice. Rookies is better for you to sit down and talk business 5 minutes versus veterans is 30 seconds.
So the more you practice, the
Right.
better it gets. It's good, thank you. Anything else you want? All right, Kayla, I'll be looking for your profile.
I already connected with you.
You connected with me? All right, you guys, that was all I have, and you guys know where to find me on LinkedIn. If you have questions and things like that, feel free at any time to send me a question, to send me maybe a message for coffee or whatever it is that you'd like to do, and I'm open. Seriously, I am. But any questions that you all have about networking, I have a book that's coming out also about networking, how it's your superpower. And I talk about some of the things that I go through my presentation with, because it truly is. It's all relational. Every time that you connect with someone, you get to decide what happens with that connection. You do. It's all relational. I had a way to do this stuff, and I can't do this.
How often are you, as a recruiter, I'm guessing maybe you do speak on a number of different things, but how frequently would you say you're invited to speak on networking in particular?
This year alone, I think that I have spoken about networking probably over 40 times this year alone. Networking is huge because sometimes what happens is people hear the word networking and they cringe.
Right.
But my goal is to teach people that it is within us to do it. From the time we were little kids, we were like this. We want to be touched. We want that interaction and we want that, and it's in us. But somehow when we get older, we get to, now we don't want to touch people, we don't want to talk to people. But everything that we do is relational. Everything that we do. We cannot do anything by ourselves. It's impossible.
You know, on some of that quantity versus quality stuff too, like I always go for quantity if it's in my industry vertical, because then it's more likely that we're going to have people that are close enough to us that even if I don't know them really well and we're a first order connection, it doesn't really matter because we both know so-and-so from the industry. And the same holds true in St. Louis. So there's got to be like a tipping point in your own region where, you know, I joke because I said St. Louis, I used to say that it was like a village, and then as I met more people, I said it was like a tent, and now it's like a one-room outhouse, and we're all in there together. But you're never, it's like, it used to be like, you know, how many degrees of separation away am I? And now it's like, I think I can touch you from here.
Yes.
It's like, so, you know,
It
you don't want to
is,
be
it's
messing with your
small.
own pool, but when you go for density, you end up knowing everybody, not just in your vertical.
That's true. And then here's the other thing. If you see that somebody that you want to connect with is connected with someone else you know, LinkedIn has a feature where you can send them a message and ask them to connect you with that person.
Right.
Use it. People love to say, oh, I would love to introduce you. Use it. All right, you guys, enjoy your evening. Thank you.